Guys, this feels good. On Bitcoin, we're starting to see some green again. We're going through a small correction. We called it the source, and we'll talk about that in this video. But that's not all. I've got a ton of amazing things to show you. Right here, there's a major pattern forming on Bitcoin. I'll be sharing my price targets with you. We've got key levels that show we're absolutely not at a top right now. So, for all those selling, panicking, thinking this is a double top, that's just not the setup we're seeing. We'll dive into it in detail and we'll come back to that pattern. We already talked about it in previous updates. If you haven't seen those, I'll link them up top. Then we'll look at the two technical signals that mark the start of a true alt season. And of course, we'll cover Bitcoin, which just made a bullish move with a golden cross. We'll break that down in a moment. My friends, there's a lot of incredible stuff coming. Trump, along with his buddies, is still accumulating Ethereum. We'll get into that too. So let's jump straight into it. Hello everyone and welcome to Holding Crypto. Every day I bring you the latest news and strategies to help you make money in this market. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications right now. So first of all, we've got a cup with handle pattern. It broke out. We had a pullback. Now, I didn't invent this pattern. It's a classic technical setup and it fits Bitcoin perfectly. It's surgical. This cup and handle isn't something I made up. It's a textbook accumulation pattern, especially when it stretches over several years like this. The price target, whether you like it or not, and yes, we've already talked about it in past updates, is 300,000. That's my price target, and I'm still fully convinced about it. Some people just don't believe it at all. But for me, we just had the ignition. Small pullback, then flexing back up and pushing higher. Reminder, we're in an all-time high. We got a bit of rejection, but we'll see later in this video that this phase is called an SOS. It's just some turbulence. Like we already said, when you climb to the top of the hill, the wind picks up. And now about funding rates, what are they during times of excess and hype? It's when euphoria starts to kick in. There's more and more demand on the market. So fundings rise. It becomes expensive to open positions. Extra fees come in. And that's it. It means there's massive demand. And when funding rates explode, that's when the top is usually in. Like here. Look, funding spike, boom, top is in. But here, funding is super low, flatlined. And it's definitely not with low fundings like that cycle tops happen. That's not how it works. In fact, when we see low fundings like these, it often means we're near the bottom. Look here, right before a rebound. Once we start seeing huge spikes in funding, that's when we need to start getting cautious. But now, look, we're even dipping into the red zone, and boom, that's when bottoms form. We came out of the red and hit a bottom zone. That's reality. This pattern is what's kept us confident. It's a Wyckoff distribution, UT phase. Then comes the creek. Look, we have the UT phase, then we fall through the creek. It's a long slide. Then boom, we spring. We capitulate below support, dip hard, and come back up into the range with a test. Then we jump once, twice, above the slide. We jump above it again and again. Then comes the LPS. We pull back a little again. We build momentum, and now we're zigzagging. The wind is blowing strong. That's exactly the SOS that held up our conviction. This whole zone with just wicks. And we're already settling above the closes. So for me, on Bitcoin, I stayed bullish. You've seen it in my past updates. If you haven't watched them yet, seriously, go check the last 2 or 3 videos. I clearly mentioned all of this. Now let's dig in a bit deeper. Here, we're looking at market cap, but with the top 10 excluded. So we're removing things like BNB, USDT, etc. We're focusing purely on the rest of the crypto market. And this is dominance. If they dominate, that means there's heavy demand for altcoins. But the opposite is happening, is falling. Why? Because Bitcoin dominance is maxed out. Bitcoin is currently dominating. And if Bitcoin is in control, altcoin dominance naturally drops. But look at this. 1 touch, 2 touches, that's alt season. 1 touch, 2nd touch, we take off. So imagine if Bitcoin really breaks out from its SOS zone, like we just saw. That kind of breakout brings in strength, interest. And if that happens, we could see Bitcoin pushing up and altcoins rallying alongside it with growing dominance. That's your alt season right there. And to wrap up this update, guys, we've got a golden cross on Bitcoin. We already mentioned it before. But now it's official. The market is rebalancing. Look, Whenever we get a golden cross, it doesn't take long before the breakout. We just crossed over. We already have some momentum, some zigzags, and then we should continue this bullish impulse. And lastly, yep, you've seen it, Trump and his crew, while retail panics and screams Ethereum is dead, they're buying massively. And this is verifiable. Everyone knows Trump is loading up on Ethereum. So guys, you know how I feel. I remain ultra bullish. And you? Have you lost a bit of confidence in these past few days? Or are you still bullish? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video.